You're being so good. Hey, it's Scotty, and I am here with Grape. You may know Grape is my foster piggy. I got him at my local animal shelter, and he is just an incredibly sweet boy. He's available for adoption. You can always just message me, and maybe he will bond with your single boy piggy. So several people have sent me this article here that I want to talk about today, and when I read it, it was disturbing, it was sad, but it was also a little bit hopeful. So I want to go through this article. This is an article in The Guardian, and it's on theguardian.com, and the headline is U.S. Shelters See Increase in Surrenders, and one animal returned in droves. And then it goes on to say, shelters are overwhelmed as pet owners grappling with inflation surrender their dogs, cats, and guinea pigs. And so that's the reason why so many people have been sending this to me. And if you've been to your local animal shelter recently, you will find dogs, you will find cats, you'll find rabbits, you will find hamsters, you'll probably find lizards, and maybe even fish. And really any animal that can be bought or sold, or any animal that would be a pet at home, can certainly find themselves in animal shelters. But it is kind of surprising and interesting that this article specifically mentions guinea pigs, because they say, well, everybody knows that there's dogs and cats, but guinea pigs are being returned at incredibly high rates right now. So they mentioned some statistics here in this article by Rachel Ellison. It came out this past Monday, and it details that 23 million households adopted new pets during the pandemic, but now they're seeing an increase in surrenders. They cite things like pet food costs, which went up 0.6%. Now, 0.6%. And they also mentioned that vet bills, this is a pretty interesting statistic, that one single vet bill would put 42% of pet owners into debt. Now, of course, I always recommend nationwide pet insurance. I have it for my piggies, and in a serious emergency or in a serious medical issue that requires a substantial amount of treatment, like a surgery, an ongoing illness, or any kind of emergency, those bills can add up, and pet insurance can really help reimburse a large portion of that. So it can be a lifesaver for you and your family, and for your piggies, because you're more inclined to undergo the treatment if you know that you have the insurance to get some of that money reimbursed. So let's just go through the article a little bit, and let's talk about it. And Grape is being so good. Grape is he's just the sweetest boy. He has this kind of butt mohawk here. During the hot summer, I trimmed it way down, and it's growing back. Oh, and since you're being so good, look, Grapey. This article, if you click on it, I'll put the link in the description, and if you click on it, you will see an extremely cute guinea pig that kind of looks a little bit like Grape. I think you're cuter, though. The great pet adoption boom peaked in April and May 2020 with nearly 1 in 5 U.S. households, 23 million in all, giving animals new homes during the pandemic, according to the American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. But as our return to a sense of normalcy has coincided with a historic inflation rates, pet owners have been forced to reevaluate their priorities. Pet food costs have outpaced general... Okay, Onyx, you gotta chew quieter. Pet food costs have outpaced general inflation by 0.6%, and a single surprise veterinary bill can launch 42% of pet owners into debt. Oh, shh. according to a recent Forbes study. As a result, shelters around the U.S. are seeing an increase in owner surrenders and a steep decline in adoptions with no sign of improving. And that does seem to be the case, at least at the LA Guinea Pig Rescue and at shelters all around my area. So when they're talking about inflation and the increase in food prices, I, as you know, Scotty's Animals, this channel, we want to not only talk about and provide the best guinea pig care advice that I've learned volunteering at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue for many years, but I want to provide tips and tricks, ways to save you time, but also money. And there are many ways that you can save money on your pet supplies. First off, you don't want to buy crap that you don't need. I've got a number of videos about different treats and toys and things that are just wastes of money. So I really hope you will check out my various playlists. But in addition to that, they're saying here that pet food costs has increased by 0.6%. That's less than 1%. Now, if you buy your hay in bulk from a feed store, then you could save substantial amounts of money just by buying hay by the bale and storing it in bins. But maybe you can't do that. There are many really good online places. So for instance, Small Pet Select, I have a 15% off coupon for new customers. Now, if you use that and you save 15%, that's 15 times the increase in what they're saying the increase in pet food costs have been. So if you buy a couple bags or you buy several months worth of food in advance and you use that coupon, then you could save a ton of money. In general, buying larger bags in bulk, that's going to save you money. And when it comes to Small Pet Select, if you subscribe to their newsletter, if you're getting emails from them, they often have lots of sales. So in addition to my discount, they're always posting discounts and sales and various things on their website. And I'm sure that if you're savvy, you can find sales and deals like that. It shouldn't be too hard. So when it comes to hay and pellets and pet food and not wasting your money on stuff that you don't need, I think you can mitigate these inflation costs, and that shouldn't be an issue at all. Look how orange your lips are already. So let's continue to read through the article. Some have asserted that the uptick in surrenders can be blamed on kind of buyer's remorse following the adoption boom, though shelter professionals disagree, offering instead that pet owners are just desperate to cut costs. Most people who adopted during the pandemic have kept their pets. 90% of dog owners and 85% of cat owners, to be exact, have kept the pets that they adopted. Then it says, there is, however, one animal with less staying power. Guinea pigs purchased during the pandemic are being returned in droves. On average, at this point in the year, we've taken 200 guinea pigs. This year, we're at over 650. And that is Katie Hansen, the Director of Marketing and Communications at the New York Animal Care Center. Technically, pets purchased at a pet store then taken to the shelter are not returned. They're surrendered. The pet stores made their profit, and they could care less what happens after that. So then the article's trying to figure out what the reasons for this might be. Unlike animal shelters, pet stores don't vet buyers who are probably thinking that a smaller animal is content to spend its life confined to a small space and would require less work, energy, and money than dogs or cats. And that they're bred easily and sold for about $40. But what I love about this article, what's really important, is that they are talking about how that guinea pigs do need, that a lot of these are misconceptions. Guinea pigs need a large size enclosure, and they need frequent cage changes, and that vet bills can be even more expensive because exotic vets are harder to find, and many vets that do dogs and cats don't see guinea pigs. The article goes on to say that many potential buyers or adopters approach guinea pigs as a temporary hobby rather than a substantial investment in time and money, and that owners become bored with them. Now, this is where the channel can come in also, because we want to teach proper care. We want to raise awareness about how amazing piggies are, about how cute they are, and how fun and interesting their behaviors are. And if you are bonding and connecting with your piggies and taming them and really understanding them and learning about them, then you're not going to look at them as a fad or some kind of temporary hobby. They are people. They're animals. They have personalities. They need proper care. They deserve to have a good life and not just be thrown away when you're no longer interested in them. And I don't understand how people can just lose interest in something like that. Why are you backing up? I think he's got to pee. The article continues that this ACC shelter in New York is the only one that accepts guinea pigs. I would be surprised that a humane society wouldn't take guinea pigs. And if you check out my rescue list on my website, you will see that there are some rescues in New York, and I have a list of rescues all around the world. And then the article goes on to talk about the experience that people who work at the shelter go through when they see all these animals that are being surrendered, and they see the looks on their faces when they are confused and they don't know why they're there. And it's kind of sad. And I feel this too. The director says, I'm not sure that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that they need support from the community, that they need people to volunteer, share the profiles of their animals. And if you know somebody who is struggling with the care of their pet, to help them so that they don't end up in the shelters, which are already so overwhelmed. But the article does end with some good news, and it says that most shelters around New York have remarkably high success rates when placing pets in forever homes. ACC boasts a 93% placement rate for cats and dogs and 96% for guinea pigs. I don't know why it wouldn't be 100. You'd think that eventually these piggies would all find homes. But sadly, that is not true, that a number of these shelters end up, not, I wouldn't say most, I wouldn't say all, but some shelters end up euthanizing their animals simply because they lack space. And that is shocking and sad and horrific. So we don't want that to happen for sure. But it does end on a high note. She says that she's never felt more fulfilled than working in animal welfare, and it really does make you feel good about your path in life. And to go back to what she says, she's not sure that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I agree. I don't know how this problem is ever going to get better, but I do know from my own personal experience that when you help one piggy, when you help one animal, when you save one life, it does make a difference. It feels good, and it makes a difference for that individual. And so that's all we can really do, is try to make a difference for those individuals. You like this carrot? So I wanted to read, don't back up, you're going to pee on me. I know it. So I wanted to read one more story that I think is related. This showed up on my Instagram feed, And this is from Rhode Island News, and it says, Attleboro unanimously approves pet shop ban. And then it says that city councilors unanimously approve a pet shop ban in Attleboro on Tuesday. Attleboro will be the 11th Massachusetts community to put restrictions on the sale of animals in pet shops. Pet supply retailers will no longer be allowed to sell cats, dogs, rabbits, and guinea pigs in their shops. Now, where I am in California, it's been a while since cats and dogs and rabbits have been able to be sold in pet shops. Now, I think that this is a huge win. There are so many animals in shelters and in rescues, and you don't need to get animals from the pet shop. If all pet shops still stop selling animals today, there still would be so many animals out there that you could find, that you could bring home, and you don't need pet shops. And it just, they do kind of present a false sense of what it takes to take care of these animals. But I do want to mention on the flip side, like I said, California does not allow the sale of dogs or cats or rabbits in pet shops, and yet dogs and cats and rabbits are just as much, if not more, prevalent in the animal shelters than guinea pigs. Most shelters in LA right now do have a bunch of guinea pigs, but all shelters have dogs and cats, and many of them have rabbits, and probably more so than they have guinea pigs. So I can't put the blame entirely at the pet shops, because there is a lot of accidental breeding. There is some willful breeding. There's just so many ways and places that where these animals are coming from. And so a lot of it really has to do with the personal responsibility of the people who are getting these animals, as well as the people who are breeding them, knowing that there are so many in need everywhere. And so it takes all of us to do the right thing. But it is true that pet shops, like I said, present a false sense of what kind of care it takes. Most pet shops don't even sell the proper cages. A lot of them do have good quality food, but it is surrounded, and it could be lost in a sea of poor quality food. You are backing up like you have to pee, but you're such a good boy, because he's like, I don't want to pee on you, I just want you to take me home. So let me know what you guys think. Have you been to the shelter recently? Did you get your piggies from an animal shelter? Let's use our collective mind to see how can we solve this problem, and why does this problem seem to be so prevalent right now. Okay, Grape wants to go back, but like I said, he is available for adoption. So I really hope that we can continue this conversation in the comments. This is something that us rescuers and people in the volunteer world, we've all just been struggling with for so long. Are you licking me? But I can't tell you enough how sweet, how cute Grape is. He's just a big, fuzzy cuddle bug. And there's so many piggies out there, just like Grape, that need good homes. Okay, Grapey, you can just pee. That's what the whole point of this pee pad cuddle sack is. You can just pee. So thank you guys for listening. Like, again, I will put a link to both of these stories in the description. So until next time, thanks for watching.